Good afternoon, everyone, ladies, gentlemen, and students. My name is Britany Morgan. I'm a middle school theater teacher here at BWYA, and today we are going on one crazy roller coaster ride, redefining art. Let me set the stage for you. The year is 2000, I am 9 years old, and I was on my way to the Kansas University Lead Center to watch world-renowned Mikhail Baryshnikov, age 52, perform with White Oak Dance Project. This was my first time seeing professional dancers live on stage and not just a videotape in my living room. I was on the edge of my seat with each piece. The music was enrapturing. Each jump was breathtaking. I thought I was in heaven. Until one piece took the stage. The piece, flat, had no music, no fancy costumes, just a chair, Baryshnikov, and he wore a nice suit. During the piece, he would walk in a large circle around the stage, and he would take off pieces of clothing and then hang them off his body. As a 9-year-old, I was a little confused. Why was he taking off his clothes? But I still enjoyed watching him, of course. Remember, I was watching a big-time celebrity in my eyes. Now, years later in high school, I was in dance class, and my teacher and I brought up Baryshnikov, and she just casually said, "Oh yeah, he's such a great dancer to work with. I even have a picture of him when he danced with my class at Kansas University." Needless to say, I was a little gobsmacked, not only because she got to dance with a rock star of ballet, but because I got to see my dance teacher perform before she was my dance teacher. Now, that full 2-hour conversation started me on the path of discovery of what it meant to be as a performer, a teacher, and as an artist. Now, fast forward to college, I was taking a dance class with our guest artist, Brandy Coleman, and she was teaching jump rhythm. She was part of the original creator, Billy Seidenfeld's original company, and this method of combining scat vocals, movement, and music was meant to create a deeper connection with what you do in a performance. This was a new way to add emphasis, not just in dance, but with physical theater as well. This technique changed the way I looked at and interpreted choreography, and actually led to my first lead casting in a musical that year. That same year, I discovered Wendy Whelan and her documentary, Restless Creature, Wendy Whelan. So this documentary followed her journey after recovering from hip reconstruction surgery and returning to the ballet. The concept of an aging dancer wasn't new to me, but seeing it from the dancer's point of view was. By the way, this was also when I discovered that 47, the age of her retirement, was considered old in the performing world. Imagine how I felt as a 20-year-old. The average age of retirement for ballet is 35. And what does that mean for a musical theater performer? I was already halfway done. But watching her tenacity return to a field that already had told her, "You're done," helped me overcome my own injuries throughout my life. To make long stories short, 2 sprained ankles, a torn rotator cuff, a sacrum misalignment to the point of being immobile for a week, and 2 bulging discs in my spine and neck that caused debilitating migraines and leg numbness. All of these injuries were challenging, but I never let any of them stop me from performing. Now, this is where the roller coaster gets a little chaotic. Throughout my time in college, I started my teaching career. At 19, I started first by teaching musical theater workshops, which led to choreographing musicals across the Midwest. I then moved up as a technical director for Southwestern College, and then I moved on to high school as a theater teacher, but also taught speech and debate. Throughout my entire career, I have seen countless auditions, musical showcases, and judged numerous amounts of speech and debate tournaments. So I would say I've seen my fair share of performances and know how to teach spoken communication. Then I moved to China to teach. And all my previous methods were no longer effective. I essentially had to start over because my ideas focused on what I was saying to my students, and they just wouldn't understand. I had to change because of the language barrier. So I did everything to get my ideas across. Crazy facial expressions, overacting like crazy, sound effects, anything to get them to understand. This slowly changed my emphasis from spoken communication to nonverbal. Jump forward to now. I teach a unit called Storytelling Without Speaking. And when the students first start reading the overview, they're a little confused. How can you do theater without speaking? Being the most common question. This whole unit is geared to shifting their mindset from, it's not what you say, it's what you do. Their big project is to create a silent film, and by taking away the need to create a written script they have to memorize and say, took away and focus on instead their actions to communicate, took away a lot of the language stress. Some highlights include a film showing the student how to overcome dyslexia, teamwork by helping a student return to playing soccer, and even how to overcome the negative thought monster. Now, when I think back on all of those performances and speeches, I could never quite put my finger on why I would think different performances that I saw were good. I knew why choreography looked good, but not an actor's monologue. You'd think, after seeing all of my influences, that it would have been more obvious. Baryshnikov and Whelan showed me redefined what it meant to be as an aging dancer and not having limitations. Coleman showed me how to emphasize without having to say anything. Everything was pointing me to stop focusing on what I was saying as a teacher and what I needed to do as a teacher. And in order for my students to be more successful, I had to get them shifted into that same mindset. Like Whelan and Baryshnikov, you can't think of what is limiting your performance capabilities. This could be gender, age, injury, anything that is meant to put you into a smaller box than your ideas. And like Coleman, we have to use every single tool we have to emphasize what we want to say and show our ideas. Now, these ideas actually led me to create my classroom rules, which have been defining the dynamics of my classroom for many years now. Now, these rules are in no particular order. First, be respectful. Second, remember deadlines, sometimes the most debated rule from my students. Third, ask questions. Fourth, encourage, don't discourage. And then last, what I've discovered is the most important rule. Always participate. Sometimes we forget how important that one is. Performing in visual arts is different than other subjects. You can't learn it by memorizing a fact, reading about the theory from a book. Your actions are the way you learn, not your words. I can say, I'm going to paint a 30-foot canvas all I want, but it doesn't mean a thing until I actually start making it. I can have a robot read Shakespeare just to hear the words, but if I wanted to feel Shakespeare, I would watch Patrick Stewart's performance in Macbeth. Now, my journey with theater has definitely been a roller coaster, but that goes with any discipline in the arts. It's constantly changing, twisting, sometimes even going backwards. But here's the thing. If you are actively participating in the arts in any form, taking a dance class, drawing, painting, learning a song, seeing a show, taking an acting workshop, we all are actively redefining it. It may just take us a little bit longer to see how we're changing it. It took me moving all the way across the world to finally figure it out. And you know what? Sometimes we don't have to see it right away. So enjoy your own roller coaster. Take your time. Just remember the rule. Always participate. Thank you.